Hey there, sports fans. We're back. It's another episode of Dinner with the Captain. I'm John Dinner, and I'm here as always with Captain Steve Priolo, captain of your National Lacrosse League, Buffalo Bandits, winners of 5 straight, and I think you might be in those 5 games. Might only be +5.
Yeah, no, they've been close ones. They've been, they haven't been going exactly to plan, but we're finding a way to win, and that's sort of like the difference.
So you're saying the plan is not to be down by 4 in the fourth quarter before turning it on?
Okay, I know you're sort of joking, but actually that's kind of like, at least defensively, is like keep us in the game long enough for our offense to get hot, because we know they're going to get hot. You just got to stay within a couple goals because they can turn it up at any moment.
And that certainly has been the case. Only 7 goals for Saskatchewan this week, 8 goals for San Diego the week before. He shut down a few quality teams since then, and even that loss. And I think we pegged it, and that's where we're going to preview this week's upcoming game against Vancouver. That was a game you guys lost by 1, but you guys felt pretty good about it.
Yeah, that was a big turning point for us because the game before that with Halifax, we got that win, but I don't know. In my mind, we can beat them, like the way we play. Vancouver was a good challenge for us, and we felt good coming out of that game. We just knew we had to go on a run after that, and
I think you've talked about it, right? Like, it was sort of that finding ways to win. And earlier in the season, you guys just weren't finding those ways to win, and I think that was really crystallized because, again, holding Vancouver, right? Everybody's talking about Q and MVPs putting up historic numbers, and then you guys held that team to 9, and they didn't score. But so fast forward, and you get the overtime victory over San Diego, and then it seems to be that script worked, so let's do it again. And but a tough game. It was hyped up. It's on TSN. It is the rematch from the finals from the year before. How much does that play into it heading into the game for you guys?
A little bit, but mostly our focus was this year, and because we're kind of different teams. There was a little bit of like their coach, like Jimmy Quinlan. I have a lot of respect for him and everything, played against him, but it's like, he's saying after we beat them in Buffalo, he was like, I can't wait to get them at home in Saskatchewan. So it was a big one for us, man. Honestly, it is a tough barn to win in, just like Buffalo must be too. It's like, it's loud, it's tough travel, there's not a ton around. It's like the green floor, the green jerseys.
I was going to ask, so that green floor, like, I mean, it doesn't play great on TV, but is it the same like in person?
Honestly, it's a little nerfed in person. It's a little more mute, or it's just getting dirty. I can't really tell. Sure. But like this year we went there and I'm like, it's not so bad. And then when you look at a TV, you're just like, who made the decision to match the floor to their jerseys? Like, it just, I don't know. I don't want to complain too much about like the things, but honestly, with, not to segue too quickly here, but with like Philadelphia not being a team next year, I'm sitting there going like, who's making decisions for their franchises around them? Because whoever made the decision to make that floor that color, with their jerseys being that color, and then the little logo in the corner when you're watching on TV, it's all lime green. It's just so much lime green. That person shouldn't be allowed to make another decision. Like, that's your one decision for the year, and now you are done. Recalibrate and come back next year, because like that's bad. And because that is half of our our growth is going to be through television. We're getting asses in seats, we're getting butts in seats, but our growth is going to be through television. So we need to market ourselves well. So it's like, you don't want to see team like Philly, folding, and that's just so bad for the league. Although I don't know if they're going to fold or relocate or what's going on there.
I mean, it sounds like they're trying to move it, and I mean, again, that whole Unboxed program has opened up a few markets. I was talking to Callum Jones's dad today,
there you go.
And he's talking about Edmonton, Montreal, maybe Nashville. Lots of sort of ideas out there. I threw out the word Baltimore, but that's sort of the field, trying to get in on that field market.
They got to find these arenas that are like 8,000 to 10,000. I think they're sort of perfect, because you're able to still fill with enough people. Like 5,000 is too small, and it
looks so good on TV when you have 13,000 people in there. I mean, it's good. I don't see anybody in the foreseeable future being able to replicate what the Bandits are doing, right?
Honestly, but I thought Philly would be that, because they're that little market there in Philly where it's like the baseball and football, and then where the Flyers and Sixers play. It's like this beautiful little trifecta of sports, and I was like, oh man, so they're gonna just jump on the backs of those guys. And so it's like they still had 6,000 on a Sunday afternoon with the Phillies playing right next door. They still had 6,000 people in the seats. So it's like, I don't know if it's a matter of getting butts and seats for them, or as much as like just time slots, and they need to just open up slots for other things like music festivals
and again,
or
lots going on down there, right? And so hopefully an opportunity, but we've kind of jumped around. Let's get back to Saskatchewan just for a minute before you've, because I know one of the great things about going to Saskatchewan is leaving Saskatchewan, but and leaving with a victory has got to feel pretty good. Yeah, as we alluded to, they kind of had you guys through most of the game. What were you guys trying to do as a defense? Because again, you guys are shutting them down and holding them, and like you said, keeping it close. What was the plan there?
Well, I don't think they had us most of the game. I think that it was pretty even. Like the score was like pretty balanced, and then it was like I took a holding penalty, which I disagree with, but I took a holding penalty.
What? That never happens.
And then, I wasn't even covering the guy that picked me, and he gave me a holding. I was like, that was it. Whatever. Yeah. And then Paulie took the double minor. Yeah. So then we're on the 5-on-3, and then that's where they took that lead from like a 4-3 to like a 7-3 or something, right?
Yep.
Or something along those lines, and that's where they got there.
So they got up 4-1 on you guys, and then
they started the game 4-1 on us.
It was 2-1 after the first. Then they scored the first 2 goals, but again, it was on those power plays. And then Scanlon got one back for you guys, and Keenan came back.
4-2.
And then so by the end of the quarter, it was what?
End of half. What was the end of half?
5-3.
5-3 then half's not terrible. It's still.
And then you guys made it 5-4, and then they scored a couple more.
Yeah, and then they went up 7-4.
Yeah, and then you guys.
And then we went bang, 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 bang.
Well, and that's again they've poked the bear, right?
Yeah.
They want to keep it one. Is that maybe what they're also talking about in the dressing room? Is like, let's not get up on them too big. Like, let's just keep them close.
No, I don't know what it is, man. I honestly feel like it's our team's pretty good at breaking down other teams, and it also, I don't know why it takes us a while to get going. It's like we need to like settle in or something. I don't know, but yeah, I didn't even realize we were down like 4-1, 4-2.
4-1, but I mean again, and then.
That goes to mindset too. It's like I never thought I was out of that game. You're playing the way, you're confident in your movements. You're confident in the way you're doing stuff. Like I don't remember making any really big adjustments. They were just getting a couple looks over top. I know Church came over top and rifled one from the wrong side, and we knew that they were going to do that. We know that they like to sweep to the wrong sides. So we made an adjustment just to like pay more attention to that. But yeah, it was like, I don't know. We didn't make many adjustments. We just sort of stayed steady, which was nice.
Yeah. And then, I mean, how much is it Vino in the second half too, right? Like this, I mean, he's
it's like
dialing right in. Like
I think I honestly
2 weeks in a row where he's given nothing in the second half.
The game must be broken down into small, tiny games with each player with him.
Yeah.
Like, where did this player shoot last time, and what is he going to do now? Now it's a chess. I think he's playing 7 games of chess.
Right.
I think
and they're all still playing checkers.
Yeah, like, they're just thinking they're shooting their shots, and I think he's playing a game that's like, because we know with certain players what we're going to give up and what we're not going to give up with them, right? Like I know what I'm going to give up with Robert Church. I know what I'm going to give up with Keenan. I know what I'm going to give up with Zach Mans, and I do everything in my power to push them into those spots. If they get to those spots that I'm uncomfortable and Vino's uncomfortable, honestly, it's weird. It's like a 90% chance it goes in. Right. It's the craziest stat ever.
They broke it, right?
Yeah. But it's just like the wheels fall off. It's like on some level, it's almost better if we just let guys crease dive on Vino and he just saves it, because he's just so dialed on his crease dives where guys are going to go. But if they get to certain spots on the floor that we're not comfortable with and he's not comfortable with, that's not a good look. So that's why I say when I feel like comfortable with the game, it's like, okay, maybe it was 4-1 or 4-2, but I feel like we were still pushing them to the areas we needed to push them to. We weren't tired. We weren't banged up yet. There was just things going sort of, they were going well. They were just like, let's stay in this, let's keep going and let our offense sort of find it here. For
sure. And so, like it was 5-4, but then like you said, the couple penalties to start the fourth quarter, and before you know it, it's 7-4. You and Paulie are pretty big personalities and probably pretty frustrated with things. How does that like charge up the rest of the team? Because obviously you guys go on a 4-goal romp from there. But was that part of it? Was that like that anger and that frustration with things was like now permeating through the roster?
I know for me, it's like if Paul takes a penalty, it's like this is when we have to kill. Like the amount of times that guy blocks shots and the amount of times that guy kills penalties for our team, like we need to bring our focus. Our focus needs to be peak. It needs to be bang on, because this is like, I don't know. That's the thing. It's like stupid, shitty penalties almost always get scored on.
Yeah.
If you take a good penalty, or the person that takes the penalty is doing something that they do, like Paulie blocking a shot or being in a lane with his heels in the crease, and you're just like, oh my God, you're talking about an inch.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? And like, and he gets a penalty for that. It's like, that's when we have to kill. That's when we have to.
And it's hard.
Kill.
I mean, 5-on-3 is really difficult, but you guys killed most of it.
But at least you're amped. You're like, yeah. So what I was saying is like, it does bring in energy though. Yeah. Whether or not it goes in or not, it's like the energy is there now to like step it up for that guy.
Right.
And I'm hoping they do the same for me. Like, that's the way I feel about Paulie. I'm sure he feels the same way about me.
For sure. And so then that takes us and staying on it. And so then Resetaritz comes through and he gets the game winner, Buffalo Joe.
The guys were joking. They're like, we've been throwing you good passes all game long. We throw this garbage pass behind you and you catch it and just stay out of the crease somehow. Throw like a quick stick twister that goes in. I'm like, what? How'd you even do that?
Like, I was certain when it was going to review. I'm like,
there's no way.
There's no way. So either his knee is down first, his toe is in the crease, somehow that there's no way that all happened in that.
He's 36 years old. He's not 25. That's flying. Yeah, right? yeah, exactly. He's basically in the crease when he caught it behind him. They were laughing. The hook is like, we could give you good passes all game, but I know where you want it now.
But I mean, on top of that, right? Again, sort of the 7 different scorers. That's got to feel good from the offensive side of things, and then keeping a team to 7 goals. I mean, everybody's got to be feeling pretty good. Yeah,
and like, winning games in double digits. So like, let's say 15-14 or 15-13 or something. That's good, and that the 2 points is important, and it's important that the offense is going. But that'd be too many goals against. Winning games in single digits is like, it's hard. It's hard to do. Vancouver's doing a good job of it. The last couple of games, we've been sort of doing a good job. Like, floating under that 10 mark, man. That's hard to do in this league. Everybody's so good.
And it ups the intensity, right?
Yeah. Like, every goal is so big, so important. It's not a game with 40 goals where they're just like they're falling.
They scored 3 in a row, and then we scored 4 in a row,
exactly.
Right?
It's not like that.
It's 2s and 1s, and
exactly,
and everything's really tight. It's like overtime all the way through, and you talked about like that last week.
And it wasn't sloppy lacrosse. There wasn't like dropped balls or anything. It was good saves, good movement, pushing, a lot of transition, man. They really are pretty good at transition. Yeah. We were okay too. We weren't bad, but I think they won the transition game, which is like one of our cardinal sins is like, don't give up, don't lose that match, don't lose that game, right? Win transition, win special teams, win faceoffs.
And we would be remiss to talk about, because we talked about the individual awards last week, and one of the things about to get defenders into the conversation is they got to score. And hey, look at that! was that front of mind as you see in Mickey run down the floor? I'm gonna back this up. Like, it almost seemed to be a little bit of a design play. You kind of
don't even say that.
I mean, he's firing it at that goalie, and you're kind of sagging off after the run down, and
honestly, it was because he was ahead of me, so I thought he knew I was there. I was screaming, and he's a lefty, right? Yeah. So I thought he was going to throw like some back pass or something, and then he switches it to his right hand, and I'm like, oh my God, he's just going to throw one-handed, right-handed back at me, and how am I going to catch this? Like, what is going to go on here? And then he just rifles a right-handed shot off of Frankie's legs, and then I was just watching and trailing, like,
it's kind of the classic hockey move, right? Like, coming
down
and you fire it off the low, the
see what happens.
The goalie's got no choice but to try to kick it out.
And then Mickey's not in his defense or anything, but like in his defense, that could have went in. His shot could have went in. You're firing on the run, like, if you're not totally sure where it's going, how's Frankie going to know where it's going, right?
He's also got to be like, what is he doing?
What the hell is that, right? So yeah, fortunate that the ball sort of popped out, and it's like, just the timing of it, I could have been running a lot harder towards the net, but because I was unsure of what was going to happen, I was just doing that like 75% reading what's going on, and then fortunate I was able to see the ball and jump on it and go between his legs.
And then so it's game number 251 for you. You're scoring a goal, you get the win, and then the team hands you the heavyweight. The belt.
Dude, that was Dane, man. That was so nice of him. He's always had my back for things. Like, he always says, like, dude, you play so many minutes. You played so good. Like, he's always says that stuff. He's always in my ear about how well I'm doing, even if I feel like I'm not getting recognized in other places in the world. And he's really good for my confidence, right? Just to make sure I'm doing things right. Like, and when you get noticed on your own team, that's sort of like, to me, that's like the most important thing.
And so usually when this is being handed out, like, so that people at home know, like, this isn't like, it's not minor hockey where the coach is maybe handing it out and it's a participation trophy and we want to make sure, oh yeah, all 13 kids have got the helmet now. So are there usually some words that get shared when they hand over the belt? Like Dane was the heavyweight.
Yeah, so Dane had it before,
yeah,
and then he gets to say all his nice things about me, and then he hands it to me, and then I get to say my sort of speech, and then we do our dance and then break it down from there.
Nice. And then so it's Saskatchewan, right? You guys coming off feeling a couple good victories, all back to the hotel. Is it a late night in Sask?
Dude, it was my perfect night. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. It's so after the game, we got treatment. We weren't rushing out of there. It was perfect. And then we were able to all get Ubers over to Cactus Club, and then I ordered like way too much food. It was unbelievable. I ordered like 2 sushi bowls and some blackened chicken, and we had appetizers going, and it was unbelievable. And then I was in bed by like 1:30. Perfect.
And so before we close the chapter on this one, because I think this is going to be something that has maybe a little bit of it ripples into other places through the game, is that the game ends or is coming to the close of, and it seems like Saskatchewan's trying to do anything to tie this game up, and so they go to Polly Dawson and a stick measurement.
Stickgate.
Stickgate. So for the people at home, there is rules around the sticks, right? Like when I was growing up, there was a lot more rules about sticks, but not so much about the pocket anymore, is there?
So there's no rule about the pocket. The rule about the head is that the ball needs to roll out of it 3 times in a row. So basically the ball needs to be able to come out of the stick. And then the stick lengths have to be between 38 inches and 42 inches. And that's the only rules on the sticks right now.
So it can't be shorter.
Can't be shorter than 38, yeah.
So clearly in this, Paulie's a defenseman, and so he's playing with a longer stick, as it turns out.
Defensemen basically use 42, and guys use 38.
Sure.
Some guys that are like those training guys, you might see them with a 40, but there's really not much in between there. And I say these numbers loosely, as we'll get to.
Yeah, of course. And so what is the feeling on the bench when you recognize what Saskatchewan is doing? Like this,
dude. Like, first of all, my stomach sank because I'm sitting there going like, nobody's sticks are legal. Yeah. I'm like, everybody's stick is probably in some version.
And so was there part of that conversation then? Is like, all right, let's measure all the defensemen's sticks on the rush?
Well, I'm joking when I say nobody's sticks are legal, but it's like there hasn't been a stick measurement in forever. So everybody's sticks are just, our equipment guy measures them and he does it perfect, and then you're taping your tape could be length on your tape, there could be anything, like who knows. Everybody tries to stay within the things, but if you measured any face-off guy's stick, like that ball's not coming out of their stick,
right.
Like those sticks are twisted hell, so it's like that's probably like a unwritten rule, like, hey, we don't measure face-off sticks just because that's the way that they're just all tweaked up and everything, right?
Yeah, and they're so just bendy and
but Paulie is 6'6". Long stick. But it was crazy though, dude. So in summer lacrosse, you can use a 46-inch shaft.
Okay.
46-inch full-length stick. 38 to 46. Dude, did I say 38?
Yeah.
It might be 40 to 42, or is it 38 to 42? So you don't even know the rules.
Yeah. Because again, not something that you've ever really had to pay attention to, because I mean, it is a game of inches. You play a whole floor, and it comes down to a game of inches.
Yeah.
But you're not in the flow of it. You're not recognizing that his stick is a quarter of an inch, maybe an inch longer, 3 inches longer. I don't know. Paulie likes to push it, but I don't think it was quite that long.
No, he said it was about an inch. But it's like you're listen. There is no defense for that, because you've broken the rules.
Yeah. He knows, and
you've broken the rules. But that's the thing, is like,
it's also a bit of an unwritten rule that like everybody's kind of pushing it a little bit.
Look at some of these sticks.
Yeah.
Watch defensemen. Watch some of these guys.
So where does that call from the Rush bench come from? Is that coming from a place of frustration? Is that something that they've just like kept in their back pocket? Like, it seems like, man, if that's something that you're gonna hold on to, like,
I'm so surprised they called it.
Why would you do that in the regular season?
Dude, I had the same question. I was like, hey, what are you doing? It's not like they're
like you're both going to the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know. But on the end of the day, his stick was long. And so anyways, it used to be in NLL, it used to be 46-inch shafts. Sure. Sticks, right? And then now they reduced it to 42. So when they originally measured it, they were like, oh yeah, it's way under. Not even close. They're like, it's 5 inches under. And then they brought it back. And then
because even the refs are like, what? We haven't had to deal with this.
What is this? So then they brought, and then that's when Mark Ardonia, the ref, was like, wait, I think it's 40. I think it's 42, and they had to like remeasure it. And like during that time, we're sitting there. When Paulie got his stick back, I'm like, Paulie, throw that stick down the hallway, bud.
Break it.
Break that damn thing, man. But yeah, so his was long.
So obviously words though continue to be exchanged.
He was pissed because this is the thing. Like,
it was personal.
Yeah, it was personal, but also like Zdeno Chara in hockey gets to use as long as they had to change the rule for him.
Yeah.
The stick is coordinated to your body, right?
For sure.
And like we don't get that in lacrosse. So Paulie's not allowed to use a comfortable stick just because. And okay, yeah, I'm saying it's comfortable, but it's also an advantage.
Yeah.
Having a longer stick, but I'm telling you, man, if we would measure Matt Hossick's stick, I bet you his is illegal.
Yeah.
I bet you Ryan Dilks is illegal.
Yeah.
Right. I measured mine after. I was like, holy shit, mine's illegal. Yeah. I was like an eighth over, and it's like. And then I measured my backup stick, and I was like a full inch under. I'm like, well, this is all over the place. Like, I don't even know what my sticks are. I'm like, so it's kind of a big wake up call to be like, hey, we got to start dialing these things in. Like, because the length of the head sort of changed. I switched from signature to back to whatever the hell I use right now, String King, and I'm going back to signature. It's like, the length of the head is within, it's within a quarter inch, but it's not exact.
Right. And so how the shaft sits in there,
dude. And as you put a softball in, and the head comes down and wide, versus like as you play it becomes like close and long.
Sure.
I don't know. I guess that's why they give it a 4-inch gap, right? But I'm for sure cutting all my sticks to 41.5. Like I can't have this happen. I don't want to see. This shit happen again.
Like, and so do you get a sense? Is this going to be something that
the league will bring back in,
or people are going to pay more attention to? Like,
I think it's worth paying attention to, but I don't think the league's going to start doing the stick check thing again because we're all friends. We all know each other. Like, we're not going. Nobody's cheating.
Which is what I think probably got Paul. And I'm putting words and thoughts into his own head, but like why he was really upset about it is because there's somebody on the other team that knew.
Somebody must have known.
Like, that has played with them, that has, whatever, has just always been like, man, Paulie, that stick's really long. I'm 6'6". You got to do, whatever you got to do, right? And and so to pull it out at that moment and in that time.
What Paulie was also pissed about was that Quinlan was, like, saying that, like, you don't think a long shot. How many block shots? Who leads the league in block shots? He's like, I do. He goes, you don't think having a longer stick helps you block more shots? And then that's where Paulie freaked, and he was like, "I block shots with my chest, brother, and my legs. Like it doesn't even hit my stick. It just come look at my body when I take my shirt off. I'm just filled with welts, right?" I think that kind of rubbed him the wrong way because, I know Paul's very proud of that record and
the fearlessness.
His stick's upside down. Like, what do you mean? His stick is, it's like it's not a length thing. It's he just gets hit with the ball on the crease. He's really good at timing it and getting in those lanes. So. I don't think this has anything to tarnish the reputation of his block shots.
Right. And so after the game, how's he feeling? Like, is he still percolating, or I get because he's a pretty reflective dude, and like, is he back in the dressing room being like, dudes, man, sorry?
No, he was just yes, he was like, what the hell? Also, he was pretty upset still, but then by the time we got to Cactus, he was just back to his own self.
Sure. Good.
It was funny though. It was like, I don't know.
But it's what has made lacrosse, I think, still such a sport that has this incredible growth opportunity, but is also what makes it so nice. It is still such on a personal level sport, right? Like, there's a guy on that team that knew Paulie had a longer stick, right? You guys play together in the summer times. You guys represent each other's countries, and it's not like, I mean, we're getting there, right? The Olympics are going to make it bigger and better. And hopefully we're going to see guys from all over the world coming in, and a big defenseman from Uganda, a sniper from Chile, like whatever it might be, and really playing into the stereotypes there. But like, I went to a coaching clinic this weekend, and I'm sitting there, and we're supposed to share like a fun fact with each other, and so I share a fun fact that, hey, I have a lacrosse podcast, Dinner with the Captain, and the guy's like, "You're John Dinner? I played with Steve Priolo, right?" And he's like, and then it goes back, and you guys are teammates at Brock, and so great things. So shout out Sco, thanks for spending 8 hours with me. Yeah, buddy, it was great stuff. And then I'm down in Burlington, and we're getting my son a new cage for his helmet, and get talking, and it's Callum Jones's dad, right?
Crazy.
Like, and so it's just neat that within the lacrosse circles, when you're involved with lacrosse in Ontario, you're touching greatness, right? Which is like, it gives me goosebumps thinking about that. My boys like get to talk to Steve Priolo, get to talk to Dan Dawson, sitting there, and he's like, Callum Jones's dad, like that's so cool, right? Like, and again, he's 10 years old. He doesn't know Callum Jones beyond just hearing us talk about like good players and guys that are having great seasons. And Callum, you're having a fantastic season. Way to represent Burlington, by the way. Like, it's what makes it kind of really fun, and why we love doing this, right? Like, just trying to spread the word, but still keep it something that's fresh and local, and feel kind of small. That you have these incredible opportunities to rub shoulders with the guys at the top of the game.
Dude, it really is quite special. And I was sitting beside a lady on the airplane, and they always ask, "Oh, what do you guys all do?" And we tell them we play lacrosse, and then, we play for Buffalo, but most of us live in like GTA, sort of, more or less. But or the guys live in Market or whatever. And then she's like, "There's a lot of lacrosse down there." I'm like, thinking to myself, like, the best lacrosse players in the world live, are from basically Onondaga up to Toronto, ish, and then you have sprinkles of like Ottawa, and then BC and the West Coast.
West Coast, yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of special that we all come from the same spot. And then we just spread out, and we're trying to grow this thing and spread it around the world, and it really is a
which is why I threw out Uganda, because I mean, we traveled there a couple of years ago, really fortunate, and then looked into it, and that there's a couple of Canadians over there, like really trying to build the program there, and I mean, it's just great to see. And then you see, of course, the Olympics are now bringing back the sixes, and so the game is growing, and we're going to take our measure of credit for that. So from there now, let's turn our focus, and it's 3 games left in the season, but it is the one, right? The next one is always the most important one, and it's Vancouver. So what's the sense? I mean, they're still sitting top of the table. Are you guys, it's still more about the Bandits, or is it about getting back at a team that kind of got one on us that we felt we played pretty well?
Well, like I said at the beginning, we needed to split with certain teams, right? We needed to split with Colorado, Vancouver, Saskatchewan. We lost that one to Philly, so we had to double up on one of those teams. So we doubled up on Sask. We have to split with Vancouver, and we lost to them there. So that's why it's important for us to win this one. With the Toronto losing to Philly, which blew my mind, by the way. Like, that's crazy. I would have, like I said before this, I would have bet $10,000 that Philly would have lost that game, just the way Toronto's been playing.
Well, and then you even think about the news coming. They must have known that. I mean, I'm sure that kind of news of them folding has been in the back of their minds almost all season, right? Especially then when at the trade deadline you see a bunch of guys being shipped out and stuff like that. But they got good young core still. Like Brendan O'Neill is like that guy's a player, and so they must have known that it was coming. So
I bet you it probably loomed on them all season,
right? And then
terrible.
But again, I called it a bit of a trap game for Toronto. Young team, feeling really good. They've kind of won some games that no one was really expecting them to win. They've proven that they're a dangerous team. They got that good young core. But 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, a little bit out of routine. And then again, feeling good about themselves. And then maybe some grumpiness on the side of Philly, like like
they still have pride, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
They're just playing for pride and all that. But so them losing to. That was the first time we've moved in the rankings in a long time. Like, we're winning some big games in our mind. 5 in
a row, and you're still just...
And it's like we're still in 6th. Like, what the hell? So then, so Toronto losing puts them now tied with us, but because we have the head-to-head against them, we've moved up to 5th. So long story, where I'm going with this is that doesn't mean anything if we don't win this weekend.
Right.
So we need to win this weekend to make Toronto losing to Philly mean something. Right. So that plays in our mind too, right? If we can get this one, that keeps us at least in that 5th. Now we can start heading towards maybe that 4th. If we can get into that 4th, that home game in playoffs is enormous. That is massive. So if we could squeeze into that spot, I think that'll be a big difference.
And I got to imagine George is looking at it and they're having nightmares of their that 1-game playoff with you guys from a couple of years ago, right?
Like, or they just want the payback, man.
4-5 game, and
Dobson's been playing good. He's got like a 7 goals against average. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, but I think I don't know what the stats are after this week, but I got to imagine that Vino's starting to really creep up there the way he's just shut the door in that second half of the games. So Vancouver, it's going to be a huge game. A possible, as the media likes to do, a possible preview of the championship game, because I think sort of as much as Saskatchewan came out on fire, I think when people look at the rosters and what Vancouver did in the off season, and then what they've done and what Q is doing with the way he's shooting that ball, and who's the other one? Keegan Ball. Q's on Colorado.
Q's on Colorado.
Yeah. Keegan Ball.
Ball's on. I think he's leading the league in points or whatever.
Ball.
Right?
That's who I should have been. Andrew, you're having a great season, but it's Keegan Ball who we should be talking about. Yeah. And he's having a fantastic season, putting up MVP numbers and those kinds of things. And so. What's the message for you guys as the captain heading into this game, and what needs to be done?
They are as well as they play. They are quite structured, and it's about, we did make some changes that hopefully go our way a little bit, right? It's about understanding them, and then I feel good defensively against them. They're very talented, but they're similar to us. They've been in the league for a long time, if you know what I mean, and it's like. Almost like the best. Keegan Ball's the same sort of thing as like maybe an old Zed Williams used to be, where it's, the more players he has around him, the less the ball's in his stick. That's like the best defense against him right now, right? But he likes to stay to the outside, and he's got that shot, and it's about getting some pressure on him, knowing what Curtis Dixon likes to do and where he likes to shoot, and then obviously Jesse King on the other side is just dangerous from everywhere and good playmaker. So. Besides those 3 guys, the big thing is their defense. It's getting to their defense, getting through the middle, figuring out what they do, where do they sit, where's their gaps, when do they not have help support, what do they do when you're coming out of the corner, what do they do when you're coming down from the top, what does Del Bianco like to see, what does he not like to see? Same thing with Vino is like, if you can get to the middle of the floor on him, maybe he struggles more from there, maybe he struggles down the lane, maybe he struggles from behind the net. I don't know, but I'll leave that to the offense. But it's going to be about finding those little nuances that are going to be the difference that maybe push us into the double digits against them.
And we talked a little bit last week about some individual awards, and so when you can then also, when you're looking at some game angles, right? You've got offensive MVP, and then you were getting lots of flowers. During the and I think rightfully so. I mean, obviously I'm super biased, but and admittedly I don't get to watch all the games, but I get to watch a fair bit, and I feel like I got a good sense of things. It's kind of strength versus strength here, like a bit of, I know both teams have great offenses and both teams have great defenses, but when you're talking about what seems to get them over the top, right, it's the Buffalo defense and it's the Vancouver offense. And so Andrew Q and Steve Priolo, like
Keegan Ball. You love Q right now.
I guess so, man. Yeah, he's
that's amazing.
Yeah.
but you're right though. It's that one guy, that one announcer sort of, he chose me as his defender of the year for the year, and I've let that go in 2019. I don't even look at that award really anymore because that's such a young man's award.
Sure.
But I do love that he respects those other aspects of the game that I bring, and I think he said that before scoring the goals and doing all that stuff. So it's like, it's nice that he sees that it's not only the way I play, but maybe my leadership and maybe, the way I'm able to read plays. And I don't know why he chose me, but I really do appreciate some recognition like that. It is always
well.
nice.
I mean, hey, man, you were named the like defensive player of the planet when the World Box Lacrosse got together.
Like
so
2 years ago.
So it's not that long ago, right? That and I think again, people that are fortunate to pay attention to the game at a real visceral level, where they're maybe getting to hear things and see how you communicate and set the tone. I think it's well deserving accolades, and it sort of gets me to we talked about Wembanyama last week, and then of course our good buddy Draymond Green's got something to say, and he's happy but not happy, right? He's unhappy that it takes somebody to say that defense is 50% of the game for everybody to be like, oh yeah, right.
Yeah. That's profound. And you're like, he's like, it's been 50% of the game forever for us. He's also a defensive phenom, right? Like,
and so I think that side of it. But then what I thought was really interesting, and even in the NBA, right, which is a global sport, and it's got, I mean, when we talk about trying to get NLL on TV and present it from a television standpoint, that's not the NBA's problem right now, right? Like, they want to keep growing, obviously, but to still have to say, for him to say that for players to be recognized, they need to advocate for themselves. And that's sort of what when he said that, I'm like, man, that's the whole sport of lacrosse. But then within that, one of the things that we love about lacrosse is the humility that the players have. Like, guys aren't sort of banging their chests and doing the things. But then you hear the way Wembanyama spoke about it, right?
Yeah.
This wasn't a chest thumping thing, and this was just like, look at what I do. I guard an entire team by myself.
Yeah.
I draw so much attention on offense that it makes it easier for my guys to score, right? All those kinds of things. It's why we kind of started the podcast as well, is to sort of talk about it, not to get you individual accolades, but to talk about the sport and get it out there. When you hear that being said at an NBA level, does that like embolden you to talk more, or does it feel like, man, this is an uphill battle?
No, it's the first one where it's like, I want to say as much as I can about the sport and about the little nuances, because again, you know how I feel about stats. You know how I feel about how they're important, but they're also not the be all end all of everything, right?
They're the beginning of the story.
They're the beginning. That's all they are. It's like, you can help get recognized stuff, but it's also important to see, like, honestly, like, winning games is a big one. It's like, why do these guys keep winning? They're not leading in any of the other stat categories or something, right? It's like, loose balls are important, but watching the games of how people are getting loose balls, cause turnovers, and again, it's important. But what about a team that has like 2 cause turnovers a game?
Well, and that's
what I mean. Look at a Colorado; they only have like 1 or 2 cause turnovers a game. They don't have a ton.
I think
what
at
else
one
are they
point
doing?
when Vancouver was sitting at the top of the league, and they had like a crazy goals against average, but then you looked at all the defensive metrics. They were in the bottom 4 for loose balls. They were in the bottom 4 for caused turnovers.
Exactly. That's a perfect point.
They were 10-2.
Exactly.
Right, and it's like, and their goals against was like, you go and then you look at the goals against, and it's like, and their goals against is 3rd in the league.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
yeah.
And then their offense is number 1.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's a pretty good recipe. But
yeah.
if you were just looking at loose, like, how are they doing this? They don't have any shutdown defender.
Is like, how do you look? Okay, so I know Dilksey won Defense Player of the Year, I think 2 years ago, right? But like, I love Ryan Dilks. I think he's a great human, but like, he won that on cause turnovers,
right?
Like, he won that because he was taking the ball from people, and it's like, okay, so now you look at their team, and is Ryan Dilks still the best player in the, is he the best player in the league? I don't even know if he's the best player on his team anymore. Like, there's such a unit defense. So now you're looking at what are they doing differently, and kudos to Dilksey for like settling into that sort of unit style that Del Bianco wants to see. But you have to look at little nuances, like if you're a righty defenseman and you're covering lefty D all the time, right? That's or lefty offense. That's a little bit easier. If you're a righty, I say this just because it's with myself. Like, I get put on I'm a right-handed guy. I get put covering right-handed guys if that's their strong players.
Yep.
It's like, I get put over on my wrong side all the time, right? And it's like, there's no way I'm going to get a cause turnover from my stick's in the weird position. Everything's in weird. I have to play the game so differently from that other side. And that, I don't think that's a thing that people really know or understand, right? Like, in the finals last year, like, I went over and covered Church and Shanks, right? Like, I was on the wrong side over there, again, because they're so smart and they're so deceptive, and it's like, you need somebody that's been around the game for a long time that picks up the little nuances of what they're doing to sort of shut them down. And not that I'm patting myself on the back, but that's like a little thing.
I'll do it.
No, but that's a little thing that like that I don't think ever gets picked up or ever gets noticed, that like when guys have to switch sides, right? Or how does a guy do on his wrong side? If you can start noticing that, like, hey, that guy really doesn't do well on his wrong side. Maybe we set a cross pick and you get him in a jammed up situation. And now he's covering a righty on righty or lefty on lefty.
Sure.
And that's a way to expose the defense a little bit, right? So there's little nuances like that throughout the game that I hope that we bring stuff to light with this podcast a little bit and talk about it. And, you know, even if it's just some people listening, and hopefully they can tell some people too.
Yeah. And what you can do is you can, as always, after you've listened to this podcast, throw out some ideas and some questions. We had some more questions again this week. Do you recall what they were?
It was about Paulie Stick and about and basically about his penalty and why did he get that? Why did he get the first penalty? Right, and it's again, the guy didn't shoot it.
Right.
He didn't shoot the ball, but because he was impeding a lane, I guess, and heels in the crease, but he was in the crease.
Yeah.
But so they gave him that penalty, and then he didn't even say anything on the way off, and it was just, honestly, I feel like it was a little bit of his what's it called when they get a T?
Oh yeah.
Unsportsmanlike. His unsportsmanlike, I think, was a little bit related to me, because
sure.
I was already in the box giving it to the ref about my holding. I'm like, holding? I was like, I got uppicked in the chest and they threw the ball at the guy, and like, how's that holding? I didn't grab it, didn't pull, I didn't do anything in a game that's, you know, six goals on either side, and it's a playoff style game, and you're gonna call that at that time, and that's what sort of irked me about the whole thing. But he's like, no, I watched you the whole way you held him. I'm like, I didn't even see him coming. He just blew me up blindside, and then the guy was covering through the ball at him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even understand where I would have held him. I didn't. Anyways, whatever. So I was in his ear about that, and then Paulie said one thing, and then there we go. Oh, sorry, buddy. I kind of brought him up to level 9, and you put it in 10.
And so, I mean, and not to go back on this too much, we're getting a little long here, but now you and Paulie are sitting in the box together. What's the conversation like? Are you guys both steaming and like saying anything, or are you guys chatting away? And
no, it's honestly, it was kind of quiet. It was just a little bit nervous, like watching and just seeing.
Yeah, because nobody wants to take a penalty, and then nobody wants to take a penalty that results in a goal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just kind of whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But like you said, playoff atmosphere, and that's where we're headed this Saturday night. Right? We're Saturday?
Yeah,
Saturday. KeyBank Center, Bandit Land's going to show up and show out, and it's going to be playoff atmosphere. We're two of the best teams to do it in the entire world, with some of the best players in the entire world. Going forwards, going backwards. You got great goalies, great defense, great offenses. If you are even like the sport of lacrosse, this is the game to watch this week. And if you've never watched a game of lacrosse, this is the one that's going to really show you what it's all about. It's tough, it's fast, it's the creator's game, it's the medicine game. You'll feel great after watching it. And if you've got a chance, I think there's still a couple tickets left in Bandit Land, but not many, because you guys pack that place like no other team in the NLL does. So Saturday night.
Right on. Excited to get home.
All right.
Okay.
Go Bandits.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you.